Welcome to Reaching Recovery here at the Mental Health Center of Denver. Let's take a close look at our 4 measures of recovery: the recovery needs level, the recovery marker inventory, the consumer recovery measure, and the promoting recovery in organizations. Let's begin by taking a look at the recovery needs level, the most basic assumption being that consumers recover and their needs change over time. This instrument assigns the right level of service or service intensity for the consumer at the right time. It is completed in combination with treatment planning and is scored electronically according to an algorithm. The 5 levels of service start with assertive community treatment and end with psychiatry only. The recovery needs level measures criteria for service need in 17 areas. The instrument can be built into the workflow for clinicians to easily score and receive immediate results. The second instrument is called the Recovery Marker Inventory. This instrument the clinician completes on 8 dimensions that tend to correlate with an individual's recovery. Every quarter, the clinician fills out a short form about a person's employment status, education achievements and involvement. Active growth orientation addresses a person's participation in areas of interest, their level of symptom management, their participation in services, where they're living, and substance abuse, both level of use and stage of change. The information is tallied to an overall score that can be plotted over time. Staff and consumers can look at the overall score and drill down to look at the specific 8 dimensions. This level of detail provides staff and consumers a tool to use in treatment planning and to aid in meaningful discussions about their recovery. Another way to look at this data is to look at groups of individuals. To do this, we use what is called the recovery scattergram. This enables us to look at individual outliers. The green dots represent individuals who fall outside the norm in relation to their recovery growth. They can be progressing in recovery faster or slower than their peers. The blue dots are individuals who are progressing in their recovery at a rate similar to their peers. This scattergram is used for utilization management, program management, and clinical supervision. The third instrument is called the Consumer Recovery Measure. This instrument is completed quarterly by the consumer and captures a consumer's view of recovery on 5 dimensions of recovery. The 5 dimensions are hope, personal sense of safety, symptom management, satisfaction with social networks, and active growth. This instrument is only 16 questions and addresses these 5 key areas of recovery. Just like in the recovery marker inventory, the consumer recovery measure calculates an overall score. This score is plotted to look at recovery over time. Staff and consumers can look at the overall score and drill down to look at the specific 5 dimensions. This view of the data and level of detail provides staff and consumers a tool to use in treatment planning and to aid in meaningful discussions about their personal journey of recovery. The scattergram for the consumer recovery measure is just like the one for the recovery marker inventory in that it's looking at groups of individuals and outliers. This again is used for program management, utilization management, and clinical supervision. The last instrument is called the PRO survey, or Promoting Recovery in Mental Health Organizations. This survey is given to consumers for them to assess how well staff does at promoting their recovery. We know that different staff promote recovery differently based on their different roles. Therefore, this survey is broken down by the types of staff that interact with consumers. For each type of staff, there are between 10 to 15 questions. We administer this by hiring and training consumers to survey other consumers. Overall results enable us to pinpoint areas of need within the center. And teams or particular programs are able to see their scores in relation to the agency's average scores. This is used by each team within the center to discuss their strengths in recovery work and develop action plans to increase areas needing improvement. We know our services work because we have the outcomes to prove that our consumers recover. Join us in better understanding mental health recovery. We are committed to working with like-minded community mental health centers who are embracing the recovery model at all levels. To learn more, simply email us. We would love to know more about your center.